This is Otaku Station broadcasting our analysis of Gundam Wing Episode 1. Alright, let's start by talking about what we're seeing on the screen here and what we're hearing in this compared to, say, original Gundam. This is 1995, so clearly a very 90s style song. Somewhat techno in feel, at least at the beginning.
Yeah.
But also, perhaps more importantly, perhaps most importantly, we are flashing by images of very pretty boys.
Indeed. You would almost expect them to be dancing or singing. But
You would.
Well, as long as they're not sitting around a conference table talking constantly.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are all the pretty boy pilots?
That would be the assumption. Yep. That's
Yep.
what they're promising, I would say, is here's what you're in for. And then we get a bunch of mecha action. So,
Action.
yes.
Yeah.
Again, promise that we're still Gundam, don't worry.
Yes. But it also gives us the idea that this isn't going to be just it's the one Gundam to rule them all.
Good point.
But it's just it's different styles of what's going on here. And we see all this fighting, and are they all on the same team? Are they all what are they doing? What's going on here? We saw a brief image of one of them standing in a devastated zone for just a moment, and then it just kind of goes away a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we get an idea of, well, we're back to the war is bad thing.
There was actually an interview with Tomino like a couple of days ago where somebody was talking about original Gundam and he was talking about the war message, and he said, when I talk to people about Gundam and I say, what do you like about them? They always say, the cool mecha action. And I'm always like, that is not the point at all.
You've totally missed the point of my works.
Yes.
Is this intro more specifically to attract more people, as in a wider fan base?
Good
So
question.
you've got attractive characters, the clean lines, the different styles of pilot characters, presumably, or feature characters. I don't know the pilots, but feature characters.
Good point. Yep.
And then you segue into robot fighting action. So it's like, is this that? Hey, this is for everybody. It could be whether you could be a boy or you're a girl. It doesn't matter. There's something for everyone in this. Is that kind of what I'm getting from this intro?
Kind of. And when you see this, what you don't see from the 70s and early 80s ones, where it's like the montage of like 5 characters like looking off into the sun, or this like the dramatic Gundamo music coming out at you. We're seeing single people, and we're supposed to be going, okay, well, we're being shown this person, so hopefully they're not going to be dead in the next 60 seconds of the show. So so it's a really big departure from 70s 80s, which is almost formulaic, where you have the dramatic music and the gesturing and all that stuff. And also you're seeing different types of people.
True.
Like this guy right here. There's him. Him. And so everyone looks like they've got, and you see like their headshot in the background. So but notice what is also not there. Mecha. We don't get the mecha until we see all the people first.
Yeah, exactly. It should also be pointed out, the Gundam series that came out immediately prior to this was Mobile Fighter G Gundam. The Dragon Ball Gundam, if you will. So this is establishing something of a tonal shift there, of saying we've got a less over-the-top tone for our opening theme song. It seems a little bit darker, a little bit more kind of introspective with these various characters and how they're posed here. Still actiony in a sense, but definitely not quite the over-the-topness of G Gundam.
For that scene, we are actually seeing a female protagonist. And it's not just someone doing a pose and looking off to the stars. It seems like somebody, because she's actually doing a thing. She's finding an abandoned teddy bear, and there's this, you know, why is this concerning to her?
Yeah.
You know, and then so we kind of know that this is not a throwaway character.
Yeah, it's interesting because this feels like it might just be purely symbolic, right? Of a child's toy lost in snow. And we often see, you know, the image of the teddy bear discarded on the battlefield. You know,
the loss of innocence.
So it's hard to see how to tell how much, like, was this actually a scene from the anime or just kind of something for the opening theme song. But to your point, like, very rare to have a close-up kind of shot of this, of a female character in this very quiet moment in an opening sequence, promising things. Yeah. And speaking to our discussions of war, definitely the tone of this shot is about the destruction of war. So this is less cool action and more what have I wrought in kind of feel.
Yeah.
And just in case we were curious if there would be a blonde and or masked bad guy, we get both.
Yep.
Perhaps not bad guys, can't, you know, immediately tell, but definitely Char-inspired characters here.
Great eyebrow.
Great eyebrow. Oh, yeah. Epic eyebrows. I mean, this is just a straight up Char shot, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are definitely getting that sense of this is our Char character. And here we're seeing damage being done to mecha, to mobile suits during a fight. So again, I think this is getting across the fact that the Gundams here are relatively, they're not invincible. You know, we can expect to see some real damage done.
We're probably not going to expect to see or hear it's made of Gundanium. Our blasters can't pass through it.
Yeah.
Yep. So starting out very much like original Gundam, you know, pan across space.
Okay. Wow, that's a radically different ship.
It is so the colonies are actually counter-rotating wheels.
Right.
Wow.
Which is really interesting. Yeah.
So when you see the opening shot in the other Gundams, it's usually like this upshot to show the curvature, but that it's all, you know, like all the way around.
Yeah.
Here it's just like, no, actually it's just this one direction, because that's how we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And also
the wall either side.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And the other thing that we see on this is that, how are we starting? Somebody's trying to escape and they get blown up.
Yeah. True.
You know. And they're also establishing that while there are similarities of Gundam things from other series, that does not look like a Zaku necessarily.
Right. Yep.
Right.
You know, or a gun tank or something of that nature. But we get an idea that, and also the other part of this is that we get the idea that mecha is part of the world. This is not new.
Yeah.
You know.
We also hear from the opening narration that we have similar setup in the sense of, with high expectations, humanity goes to the stars and establishes these space colonies, but instead of Zeon, we get this like group that is conquering colony after colony. So it's not, we are the Principality of Zeon and we have kind of revolted and started our own little group. It is an expansionist war throughout the colonies, and then the colonies are fighting back against that group. So different kind of political situation here.
Yeah.
Let's call out that music. I have rarely heard more Star Wars like music than that.
Yeah.
Like my first thought was, we need your help, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I kind of half expected that.
Which again, kind of a departure from the more almost jazz-inspired music from original Gundam, and then even as you get later Gundam series, like Zeta Gundam has a much more powerful, you know, rounded orchestral soundtrack. But I think this is even pushing it even further into that explicitly sci-fi territory. So what we're learning here is that the Earth military is very much aware of whatever's going on with the colonies. We've already established that we have this Operation Meteor that's sending things to Earth, and Earth is already aware of that. Now, here's what's interesting about this moment. To your point, Steve, we just saw a shuttle get blown out of the sky. And it's right next to this thing that's coming out from a colony, and also another military ship that's aware of it. So we're establishing danger for this shuttle right now.
Yeah.
And here's a question for you, as the Gundam experts. This also kind of establishes that there is a lot, not fighting wise, but there's a lot of stuff moving in orbit.
Great point. Yeah.
Yes.
That I don't recall, other than actual fights in other Gundam where they are going into space and they're transiting and they're doing stuff. You don't generally see non-combat how much stuff is doing things outside of the colonies and above the planet, where it's
You're right.
just kind of, the danger you're talking about isn't just necessarily get shot down. It's the fact that there's several vehicles that are orbital and they're moving in a plane of reference where it's like that is, in and of itself is dangerous. You don't know where you're going to intercept any given mark.
Yep.
So
yeah, and kind of a little bit to that. If you notice, if you listen to the stewardess giving the speech to one person on this shuttle.
Great point.
Yeah. It's just the one person. So this person is important. So we need to know that. And John, as you were saying, that there's danger going on. We have the one pilot. We have the one guy who's very like, haha, I'm a soldier. I look like Char. And so you have that going on. You have this guy who's trying to sneak onto Earth, and then you have this thing happening, which is not a military plane or anything like that. So probably everybody knows that this shuttle's supposed to be there.
True. Yeah.
Except for the guy trying to sneak onto the thing, and probably the guy who is who thinks he's wonderful soldier boy. But but of course we get an idea of how important this person is because he's the only one on it, and they only reference him.
And let's bring up to that point. And contrast this to not just original Gundam, but almost any other anime you've seen. How much politically we already have been hinted at about the different factions and people understanding and knowing different things about what's going on in the colonies versus here, and this important guy in the shuttle. So we're really establishing there's a lot going on in this world that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
To your point, Steve, we see important dude, girl next to him who we can assume is daughter or something, and then two guys in front of him who just look so much like security.
Yeah.
And then
vaguely thugging.
Exactly. And then empty behind. So it's like, okay, either these are the only passengers, or like everything's been cleared for them.
Something probably not good.
Yeah, exactly. Notice how Relina refers to him. She uses father, but she's also relatively petulant in this scene. So there's familiarity, but also a sense of propriety. So establishing that.
Do we have a animation error with his beard?
Great point.
Yeah.
You are absolutely
that or
right.
his face has an odd fold.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
That is an error.
He has a dimple or a little circlet there. On
he
his
just
cheekbone.
drew another chin.
Yeah.
He's just descended from Robert Zadar. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So to be clear, the pilot of this thing is getting ready to shoot down that shuttle. So I love it when a show gives us information and then has somebody else say they're not going to do that, because we know they're ready to.
Yeah.
So there's some misinformation going on here. Imagine how painful that was to draw.
Yeah.
All the lines getting added and showing up over time. Gosh. Cool visual.
Yeah.
Well, obviously a very technologically advanced draw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Should point out that is English, drawn on the original 2D, so they wanted this to be international.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So I didn't really realize this before. Have we seen a Gundam show where we see a hybrid configuration like Macross? Which one was that?
It happens in at least Double Zeta.
Double Zeta, okay.
Zeta, I think, also has some transformation stuff.
Okay.
Definitely Double Zeta. The Double Zeta itself is a transforming mecha, as I recall.
Okay.
Yep.
No machine gun for him. Okay.
Instead of bed without the bullets.
to that point, we're getting melodramatic here already.
Yeah.
7 minutes in. So, okay. Little bit of the bold and the beautiful here, I think.
No machine gun for him. Get my slingshot. Okay.
Yes. So we get a monologue from the pilot who can tell, based on how a ship is moving, how many mobile suits are inside. There's some skill and knowledge, I would say.
A little bit of training.
Little bit of training. Wow. Also note here how immediately they're making use of three-dimensionality, in the sense of not only is he tumbling around, but he's not turning upright to fire, right? As soon as he's able to fire, he fires. So more aware of space being actual space, even though they're in the atmosphere. But yeah.
Very bold, dramatic music at the transformation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost a Super Sentai transformation here.
Yeah. All including the golden, shiny glitteriness.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've established people don't know what a Gundam is.
When he starts out and he's tumbling and he's firing, the first thought I was going to ask is like, that thing can't fly, right?
Right.
Right.
Like, I appreciate the fact that is resolved. The other machines that come down to talk to him, they are basically in free fall. You know, they're heading towards the planet, and they slap that parachute on his back.
Yep.
But they don't make anything of it.
Good point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, sir, we've gotten to you. Here's your parachute to make sure that you can land that ground-based attack vehicle. It's like, no. There's an element of like, you guys will figure this out. You watching this will kind of figure out what's going on. They've slapped something on the back. It's got to be something to do with him getting safely down. And it's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, because I was wondering.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Okay.
What in the hell? Wow.
It's like I have all this apparatus to choose from. I'm gonna go. You know what? Screw it. Ace of Spades. Here we go. Massive firepower. Why not?
But this is saying something about the pilot, right? Either this is the only weapon at his disposal at this point, or he's just like Mr. Overkill.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So we know Char is probably not our hero, which would lead us to believe that the guy in the Gundam is our hero, but then he does this. And it's like, I don't know if I like this person.
I'm glad he shot upwards at them, because it seems like this kind of laugh, if they were below him and like London was down there, he'd fire. Right. He'd be like, ha ha ha, and all of London's gone. Well, at least I got rid of 2 mobile suits, and you destroyed London. Ha 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 ha.
So why did he do that?
Because he set the mobile suit to explode. He's wrapped it around the Gundam, and now the Gundam is too heavy to fly, too heavy to maneuver, and it can't get the ticking time bomb off the front of him, maybe.
Even if it isn't a ticking time bomb, it's now massively overweighted. And so it's going to not be able to land the way it could, and will probably just crash.
It'll slam into that water like it's hitting concrete.
And you think, Zax has a perfectly functional mobile suit.
Yep.
Right?
It wasn't damaged any
His weapons out there. But he chooses instead to, use the mobile suit tactically as an advantage and get the F out of Dodge. So that he can, because he recognizes how much more powerful the other suit is. He's like, I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
To our earlier point, where is everybody else in this spaceport?
Yeah.
They have
cleared out.
Yeah,
Oh, that doesn't sound suspicious at all.
But also see how Relina is responding here. She is quietly just going along with it. And including on the escalator, this is normal for her.
Yeah.
So she's not the rebellious teenage girl you often get in anime.
Right.
But also, even with how kind of petulant she was in the shuttle, she's not letting any of that show to the public.
Right.
Hi, we just had you in under intense security, and to bring you back to Earth, we'll just let your daughter walk the streets.
Yeah.
Kidnapping risk. We're not familiar with that phrase.
Well, Zek said this is the JAP region of Asia. So we're in Japan.
And,
so it's safe.
Right? So it's presumably safe-ish. So what we're learning here is that Relina does have normal reactions to things, but deliberately does not bring those up. We don't know exactly why, but she is human, so to speak.
Right.
I thought it was an animation error.
Yeah.
It was the shadow of the plane.
Yeah.
I think that's why it darkened. Now, mind you,
agreed.
You see her shadow. You don't see an image of the shadow of the plane go over her, but that seems to be the sort of indicator as the darkening is the aircraft.
Yeah, I really like that use of a filter, basically, just to add that little element to the scene. Very clever.
I'll go look at it, poke it with a stick.
To that point, right? Like that. Okay, bias for action, if nothing else. And here's the other thing: we know who this is, and we know he's on a secret mission.
We also know that somehow his Gundam, even though it did get destroyed, that somehow he survived, popped the hood, and got out. Like, from how deep under was it?
Yeah.
That, and we also have to remember, I was going to shoot this thing down and she was in it. Of course, she doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. But we're just like, but you were going to kill her.
You still got opportunities later, Steve. Don't worry.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's establish a little bit about society here. We certainly have a high-class personage here, judging both by the opera glasses and the opera that he's in. But also look at the uniform, right? Like, this is clearly not what he is just wearing out to the opera. This is his uniform. But it is very, I would say, like Napoleonic.
I was just about to say sort of La Belle Epoque.
Yeah.
Interesting too, in her comment about if it weren't for those military planes, this would be a bustling space hub. So that also gives us here he's in his military uniform at an opera.
True.
That apparently a civilian spaceport is not operating as such because of military presence. So we're also getting that kind of sense that this is a highly militarized space at this time that was not intended to be so. That structures were put together for not that purpose, and that things have changed.
Yeah.
And it also gives us a little bit of insight about her, which is, as we've seen, she's kind of like smartly being rebellious.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're seeing that she has an attitude about all this military stuff. And she's just, and we're seeing a sort of priority within her, which is this could have benefited other things in other ways, and not just this. This, which I don't think is, which we get the sense that she's somewhat disapproving of military things.
And yet she sees a wounded soldier and immediately wants to go for help. So it's not an anti-military personnel per se or whatever.
Right.
It's more political. Yeah. So let's speak again to uniforms. Again, some very Napoleonic era style uniforms here, combined with some of the slightly more generic, pea green uniforms as well.
Yeah.
A very clear bit of writing here, like directly to the audience, to say, all right, here's what's going on. The Alliance is kind of controlling things. Oz, which Treize is controlling, basically wants to seize power and wants to control things, wants to do something there.
Didn't she run off for help?
Hard to tell what happened there.
Was that a suicide bomb?
Yes.
That is what that seems to have been, and he is surprised that he is not dead.
So
He's
the
committed.
suit basically malfunctioned from him being maybe underwater and whatever else happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of an intense concept there.
Yeah, Amuro tried to kill himself halfway through the first episode. It's like, what?
Yeah. No, thank you. What's going on? Just let me jump up and try and kill myself. Wow.
Yeah. And again, he's on a secret mission to Earth, so presumably he cannot be identified.
And he lost the machine that brought him to Earth, and he's in for a lot of trouble.
Yep. I am very impressed with this because they actually move the camera as he's breaking in. Right? So you see the camera actually pushing into the thing, just giving an extra push of animation. It's very cool. What does that tell us? Right? She wanted a connection. Right? She wanted to introduce herself to him. Like there's some desire for a relationship there. And we've seen how she's kind of protected by her father, so this is a clue that maybe she actually needs more relationship than she actually has.
Well, didn't she say when she was walking along, when the plane flew over, she's like, a normal girl would have done something or whatever. Yeah. So she's indicating that she's not exactly under normal circumstances. I would like to see her pick the helmet up and be like, I wonder what his name is, and then look down and go, his name is Goose. And that's just right across the front of the helmet. You're like, oh, honey, you've grown up in a very sheltered environment. Come back, Goose. That's not my name.
And they're holding on this shot. And I think that's important because it's showing determination. We've seen various elements of her character, and the idea here that like there's this intensity to her now all of a sudden.
One of the things I would like to say is that his training must be incredible.
Yeah.
I just tried to kill myself. Didn't work. There's a bunch of guys in my way. I'm just going to really do some awesome moves and knock people out and probably snap their necks and then get into the thing and drive away, peel out and drive away because I can do all these wonderful things. And she's just like, well, aren't you really? It was for Lena.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, the dramatic hand thing. I'm sorry, that strikes me as just vaguely creepy. Like,
okay.
She's sheltered. She wants a connection. He also is having these conversations with herself.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? And it's like, is that look of determination like, I wanted to introduce myself to you, and I will. Like, okay.
I know, it's almost like, I'll make you love me.
Yeah. Don't you like my hair? Oh, God. Oh, no. Back it up.
Contrasting what we see in earlier Gundam series. This is a very sudden sneak attack situation. We're so used to building up to the battle over the course of the episode, and somebody's coming, and what do we do? And do we put out our mobile suits or not? Nope.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen a Gundam scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I thought all of them were just energy swords from original Gundam.
G Gundam has kind of everything.
So
I'm sure that has something, like a scythe in it somewhere. But yeah, in terms of like a slightly more grounded Gundam series, like Gundam Wing, definitely this is pushing the boundaries.
Why do I remember a Zaku with an axe?
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. It is a metal axe with a beam on the edge.
Yeah, this is just all scythe.
All energy. Yep.
How it's curved, I don't really know.
They force out the energy more on one side than the other, which causes curvature to the energy.
Yeah. Now that makes sense. Wow.
Also establishing that the Gundanium is very effective against regular armament. He's just walking. So what's different here?
This guy's got an actual unit.
That's interesting. So definitely a different tone here.
Yeah.
Much more regret at having to kill, while everyone else seems to be like, ha, cool.
Surrender.
Yeah, I only had to do one thing, but now I'm going to destroy everything. Big contrast with this kid's like, okay.
Yep.
Okay, the introduction by name of everybody is kind of like, really? I appreciate that they're wanting us to get face to names and that we kind of sort of develop an understanding of them, but who are you talking to? You know, like who's in there? And then you're like, hey, I'm Wu Fei.
I mean, the alternative is they all appear on stage together and announce their names while dancing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like the easy way to go is, hi, Wu Fei Unit 3 succeeded. Yeah. Moving on. You know what I mean? It's like, why? Maybe that is what we're supposed to infer from this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But it just feels like he's in the cockpit by himself and just turns, looks at the view screen, and goes, "I'm Wu Fei." You're like, yes, you are.
Well, part of this is also to give us an idea of a smidge of like who they are. Right. So we have Wu Fei, who's just like my least favorite character here, who basically just kind of goes, he's arrogant and he's just going to be, I'm just going to do the thing. I'm Wu Fei. You have Troya, who does heavy arms, and he's just like, and he kind of tells you, okay, I was only going to do the one thing, but screw it, I'm just going to take you all out. Mm-hmm. And we have Catra, who is basically, now we get the idea of something important about him, which is, hey, I'm the one, probably the most reasonable and psychologically stable, well, at this point, of all the guys of Operation Meteor. Mm-hmm. And then we get the other guy, the first guy, who he's just psychotic.
He's just unhinged.
And if you, and I think what they're doing is they're actually just relaying that to someone off camera that the mission is now going.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that they're doing.
Reporting in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. But I also agree that it feels a little staged,
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, they did take the time with, and again, I don't know the lead character when he's trying to decide to blow up the shuttle.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out what's going on. He has a helmet on, and he obviously has comm things going on. I see lights kind of dancing inside the helmet.
Yeah.
He's doing communications thing, and none of these guys, in all fairness, that's probably exactly what they're doing. They're communicating back on radio, but nobody's wearing even a headset setup where you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what he's doing. So just to say.
Yeah. Should also call out in every other earlier Gundam series, we start with basically one Gundam.
Right.
Or we get to introduce, others exist perhaps. But it's very much that slow rollout. So for Gundam Wing to say, here's 5 of them, all operating all at once in episode 1. Okay, we're in for a ride. Pink Cadillac.
Oh, it's the Barbie pink Cadillac.
And we just have to reveal that's a school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Public schools in Japan are amazing at this time period.
Holy Rose of Versailles. And to that point, I mean, we have school uniforms, but definitely not like any Japanese school uniforms.
No.
We have the richest girl in school as one of our main characters, not a villain. Maybe she is a villain, based on that previous look, but interesting.
Well, we'll get the tea garden scene for her birthday when she's just having tea and cake and talking to herself. Then we'll really know where she's at. Oh boy.
Just as long as she doesn't say, "Ooh."
Yeah. I should get my hair redone. Big drills.
Very polite, very relaxed. She's not lording it over anybody. Seems to be treating herself like a normal student, so that's good.
Wow. I hate all you rich people. Oh, wow.
Just give me a minute. I'm going to go out to my car and get something. I'll be right back.
Woo. Well.
I got to tell you, the music really does sound like it's coming from a 1980s psycho thriller.
It does.
Hi, really nice to meet you. I'm a psychopath.
Yeah. Well, what I'm also realizing here is this is all a shoujo setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? The mysterious transfer student who is kind of, otherworldly and doesn't want to talk to me. It's very much that, school drama thing.
And to your point earlier about, boy, she's just desperate for a connection with someone.
Yeah.
Not crazy desperate yet, but just if you're convinced it's him, again, you've introduced yourself and he does nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though you tried to introduce yourself and he's driving away. But the point is, thank you for inviting the mysterious stranger. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. What? But we are setting up that again. She is not trying to be the, center of all of this social stuff. But everyone is clearly like hanging on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was gonna slap her, so I'm like,
No,
oh no, that's
not.
actually a very sweet move. He dried a tear. Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
And 1,000 fanfics were suddenly set to see.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, again, in fairness, he's a secret agent, right? He cannot make connections. He cannot get closer to people, and so is this just his way of saying, stay the F away from me, basically, right?
Well, what's interesting is that in that shot, suddenly all the girls are no longer there. It's just like they probably just like, oh god, oh no,
we're
now.
leaving now. Yeah.
This
If
is
she
horrible.
gets killed, then who gets to be the next queen of the school? Like,
Yeah. But presumably they didn't hear that. Yeah, he said it just for her.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
like, I like her hand when he tears the invitation up and it shakes. Like, okay, you're like, it's starting to boil you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You want the connection. You want him to acknowledge you. You want to you want to figure him out, and he is just like, beat it.
Yeah.
And you're now, it looks like you're getting closer to that moment where you're going to lose your cool. You know what I mean? Like that little shake of the hand is like, that's just the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in I don't want to say lesser polite society or whatever, but if you were her and you're trying to not just have a connection for yourself, but you're trying hard to extend out yourself to somebody, in a kind way. After all, her first reaction to him was, oh crap, he's washed up on the beach, he's in trouble. Let me help him. I help you, you run away, you don't even say anything, you don't acknowledge my existence. Here you come to the school, you still ignore me, I'm still trying to introduce myself. Hey, maybe if I introduce you to my part, or bring you to my party with my friends, maybe you'll open up a little bit. No, I'm gonna effing kill you, whatever. And he does a dramatic scene of ripping up the invitation without even opening it. And it would have been perfectly understandable if it wasn't just the clenched fist. She just went, "Oh, okay, asshole." Popped him one. But she is more refined. She is the daughter of the basically vice whatever of the world.
Yeah.
And she's the richest girl, so she can't just pop him one, even though he deserves it. And so here she is right before he says to her, I'm going to kill you. And and she's just, why wouldn't you be upset, right? Like why wouldn't you be upset? But here's the thing about Gundam is that we see in Gundam in different series people angry and upset, right? We see it in Zeta and all that stuff, but we don't see, this is the first time we see something that is not related to being, I'm a spacer, I'm a spacenoid, I'm Earth, I'm Fetty, I'm what are this? It's just a person. It's just like please be my friend.
And to your point, we don't often see in Gundam this kind of relatively subtle interpersonal emotion, right? We see bigger emotions. Somebody trying to hold it in while somebody is being, cruel to them, basically. We tend to see more sweeping things than that.
Yeah. So when we see her finally, so when he does the thing with the tear, he wipes the tear away, and everyone just goes, "Aw," because they're finally like, maybe he's warming up, or maybe giving the explanation of like, we can't do this right now, let me talk to you later, or something of that nature. And look, she's got slightly happier. Like somebody's paying attention to the fact that I'm hurting, and then they do this thing, and what does he do? I'm going to kill you. Well, aren't you effing romantic?
Yeah.
But maybe that's
it. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As I say, perfect opportunity for her to have whipped around and been like, "Okay, spy space boy, I think people would like to know where you are right now."
I'll also notice the absolutely shoujo romance thing of the literal spotlights in this shot.
Yep.
Like, this is straight out of Rose of Versailles, to that earlier point. which also tells us something. This is not just going to be an action show about, mecha. That there's going to be some relational, potentially romantic thing going on here.
Yeah.
A Romeo and Juliet almost thing, if
sort of. Yeah.
Okay, so go back to that look on her face. Whenever I have seen this particular episode and this thing comes up, I look at it. My first reaction is like, oh, mind break.
Yeah.
She's gonna go psycho from here on out.
Yeah.
But this is kind of interesting because this is from an animation visual point of view. This is she's shocked, and this is her shocked face. But it's also shocking for us to see this.
True.
Right? It's usually the wide eye, dilate pupils, whatever. But this is just like her, just like going, and we're all just like, okay, a thing just happened.
Yeah. Well, this is completely outside of her world.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one's ever behaved like this to her. She went and saw this person on the beach who kind of spazzed out, if you will. So, okay, something strange was happening with him. He ran off. Fine. But this is a personal affront. And you get the sense that is just not in her vocabulary.
And kind of to your point here, in everywhere else that we've seen her, she is calm, composed, collected. Her hair is nice and tidy. Everything, she has, her eyes are not crazy like this or anything like that. And then you see this. There's no structure to the hair. Like her hair is just wild, comparatively speaking, and her eyes are just way too big. And she is just, this is not composure.
Also, to that point, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, the pupils are crooked.
Oh yeah.
They're a little bit upper left to lower right instead of face on, which just looks a little weird. It looks off-putting. Yeah.
Well, and certainly in this scene, you get the feeling that she's never had anybody react around her, towards her, anything like this. Like she has her little group of people, they're clapping. She gave him an invitation so that when she's not trying to be controlled for the media and present well for her family and her father, that the people around her graciously accept, her wonderful presence and her, wonderful parties that she throws. And this is the first person in her life that not only is just like rejected that and be like, I'm gonna kill you. Wow.
The adult earlier on was like, oh no, we have a car for Miss Rolina and we'll take her separately. Like they're all very obsequious to that. And it should be pointed out, like her reaction to this is not anger. Right? She's not offended. She's just shocked.
And in love now, apparently.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah.
Probably not just yet, but
he wants to kill me? That must mean he loves me. Oh, this is an unhealthy start to an unhealthy relationship.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, here we go.
So there's episode 1 of New Mobile Report Gundam Wing. Covers a fair amount of ground, I would say.
Yeah.
So what did y'all notice? What stood out?
Well, it's quite a departure from original Gundam.
It sure is.
Yes.
It really came out to me this time, the whole aspect of the kind of Rococo and Napoleonic kind of society that you see more or less everywhere. Like these outfits are not even that. I mean, they're almost 19th century American for the boys at least.
Yeah.
They're all Kentucky gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly.
Young Colonel Sanders, if you will.
And all this was very deliberate. Like they said, we wanted this specific kind of vibe, and they're hinting something about kind of how society has evolved in this future time. There's kind of going back to that kind of period. There's been a revival of that style. And it does give it a very specific vibe.
So we get some like different, one of the things of watching this as opposed to a lot of the other Gundam shows, particularly the ones that are dedicated to the Universal Century storyline,
Mm-hmm.
which is, it's Federation versus sides, certain sides versus sides, Xeon, and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here we get the sense that, and in original Gundam, we get the sense of like, war is bad. Not everyone's good. Not everyone's bad either. We have sympathetic characters on everywhere that we look. So and that's kind of Tomino's point, which is, nobody's inherently evil, right?
Right.
We don't have that. Right. Here we get a very much different vibe. Not that so much that someone's inherently evil, but we get first the idea that the bad guys are on Earth. Or the quote, I'll put it in quotes, the bad guys are on Earth. We have Earth that is pushing the agenda that people don't want.
Well, and to that point, like it's even more complicated than that, because we have the alliances on Earth. They are also kind of conquering colonies, and the colonies is fighting back against them, but the alliance is also on the colonies. So it's like, whose side is on whose. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And we're getting a sense of when we look at the pilots. Yes, Hero's probably the most military trained, but they're we don't have a sense of them having the epaulets. There's no these are actual people from space who don't worry about their status and their clothing and who they are, their wealth and this kind of thing. They're totally not worried about that. What they're worried about is
actually, Wu Fei's wearing a T-shirt,
right,
or even just like a crop top. You've got a nice but a little more standard kind of outfit there for Katra. What else do we have? Yeah, just like a
Troya
turtleneck.
Turtleneck. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and meanwhile, we're looking at Zex, and we're looking at Trey's Kusanada. We've gotten his name right, yeah. Trey's, and look at all these. I mean, the collars are just like. I mean, can you even, And they have the little, feel at your neck, and this guy, and the boardroom at the Rochester Marriott, as John pointed out. But this is like all glamour, and it's all whatever wealth and all this and politicky. Meanwhile, we have these 4 or 5 guys who kind of don't know each other just yet, and they're just coming in. They're just going, yeah, we're here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum, right? Yep. That's what they're here. I mean, even for as psychotic as Hero is, wait until you get a load of this one. Duo Maxwell, Death Side. But the point is look at them. This is not wealth. But when we look at Relena, when we look at what's going on Earth, what do we not see? We don't see poverty. We don't see any, shackle towns or anything like that. We get a sense that there's a inequality of wealth because Relena is saying something to the effect of, this could have been a spaceport for a lot of people brought in. Heard the inference of this could have been beneficial for the people. Kind of a thing. So, which is an interesting statement that you picked up on, John, because it's like, where does she lie in all of this?
Yeah.
And that's the other big point that I think you're trying to make, Brand, here about this whole first episode, which is, guess what? There's not 2 factions.
Yeah. Yeah, we already
who's good and who's bad is not so readily evident.
Yeah.
Well, and even there's no 2 sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know there's the Alliance. We know there are these rebels, but there's also Oz already. And so, like, what's going on here? Relena is just, Mr. Dorlan is apparently a powerful figure of some kind.
Yes.
So it's all of these different political factions potentially just in episode 1.
Her father was not in the Marriott.
Correct.
No.
Everybody was all lined up, all those important people in their uniforms and medals, all lined up there. He was not attending.
I don't think I saw him there, no.
No.
Yeah, that seemed to be all
military-ish.
Yep.
He couldn't handle general septum.
Yeah. That man's voice is so irritating.
Yeah. it's
You would think he'd be kind of in on that if he was, that big a honcho.
right.
But
Yeah, apparently not. Which tells us something about the military, and its situation here. But yeah, this episode has a lot to do, given the fact that we have multiple factions. We have 5 main characters, kind of. Plus Relina. And so we're establishing all those characters, what their personalities are. And I think they do a fine job here with Hiro, because you see in those early shots him coming down. See if I can find a shot there of him. And he's doing the soldier thing, right? He's not psychotic. He's just carrying out the mission, doing what he needs to do. Although we see he's more than willing to destroy a civilian shuttle just to clear it out of his way. But he seems kind of otherwise more or less like any other soldier we've seen in Gundam. And then as he gets onto Earth, he gets increasingly desperate and increasingly out of control, if you will. I mean, that whole, again, contrast this guy to the one on the beach.
Yeah.
Who is just...
Yeah, they focus
spastic.
in on his face when he's trying to cover his face, and
Yeah.
he's just like, "Did you see?" It's almost like watching that movie with Dustin Hoffman. Is it safe? Is it safe? But I mean that looks crazy, right?
It does,
That
absolutely. Well, and in this moment he realizes he has to kill himself.
Yeah.
And attempts to do so and fails. But yes, this is somebody who is not having a great time.
no.
Yeah. And then we kind of see the results of that. But also it's interesting because you get this question of, okay, if you... Why are you still here?
Right.
Right? If you need to hide, why are you going to school now?
Yeah. And why her school?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're going to hide out as a student, you could have gone to any number of other places to do so.
You could have gone to a vocational school where no one's asked.
Yeah, I mean...
All you had to deal with is respect.
To that point, this is clearly a very high-class school. So not just anyone can get in.
Yeah, and that means somebody somewhere has pulled some strings.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's fair.
100%.
I also find it interesting contrast with the MSO8th team. You look at like the grinding poverty of a lot of the villages and stuff that are in that, and like just people desperate to try and survive. Different timeline. But here, this looks fairly normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The space, despite, the guy opening up with the Gatling gun on the robot factory and blowing other stuff up, the spaceport looks fine. The school looks fine. This is like a normal looking, functioning society.
True.
We don't see a ton of it, but you know what I mean? It's like it's in fairly decent shape. It's not wrecked up. It's not sort of destroyed yet.
Yeah.
And here you've got these 5 Gundams that show up, and they're wrecking it up.
Great point.
Who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing if you said, this is an occupation force. They put this factory down. They're oppressing everybody around. It's like, no, it actually looks like it's just a manufacturing facility, and people have jobs, and they seem to be doing their thing. The oppression apparently is in the colonies, which they've showed us in the beginning,
Right.
not necessarily on Earth.
Right.
And then you drop these 5 guys in here, and it's just like they start destroying things, wrecking people's lives, taking, doing things that are like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So what is Operation Meteor? So you have 5 guys that are dropped in with 5 different Gundams, 5 separate missions dropped onto Earth. We see you pointed out all the things that are different than Mobile Suit Gundam. You know what else is different? The Operation Meteor, the guys that drop down onto Earth in their Gundams, that's the colony drop.
Great point. Yeah.
There's no colony drop here that wrecks so much of Earth.
Yeah.
There's no, when we get into Mobile Suit Gundam, we get to that point where things are just wrecked, like you're saying, right? Yeah. Here, things are not wrecked yet, but we drop these Gundams, and these guys are going in there. What are you here for? you hear their missions, and it doesn't sound like much, but they're just here to wreck things, literally.
Yeah,
that's the colony job. That this is the opening salvo
The
of something
opening
much
shot,
worse.
yeah.
Of something much worse. And also, I just want to also point out, and I'm pretty sure Tomino or Brett, you could probably speak to this. How old are these pilots?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They all look.
This isn't
30.
This isn't Amuro forced into a situation where he makes an act and he's
good point.
leafing through a book through real quick. These guys are trained to do the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, they're 15.
Yeah.
Like this isn't, oh, I'm a young looking 22. No,
Mm-hmm.
he's 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what kind of organization, can only send 15-year-olds and train 15-year-olds as pilots, right? Where you don't have anyone else, presumably.
Well, and also train 15-year-olds on arguably the rarest of rare mecha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't believe they've got not just one, but 5. It's like, so apparently this Gundanium is so incredibly rare. It's amazing they found enough to put together 5.
Yep.
And you trust it to the pimply previous 15s.
Yep.
After this, I'm going to go get a soda. Okay. There you go, guys.
You know, it's almost as if they said, look, we're not going to drop a colony on Earth. That's just a bad idea. We're not going to do that. What else most destructive thing that can we do? Well, we got this Gundanium.
Mm-hmm.
God, we got a lot of angry 15-year-old boys, don't we? Yeah. Oh, slap them in there. Just let them loose on Earth. There you go.
What's
Give
worse
them
than a colony drop?
skateboards.
Teenage boys.
Give them skateboards, Junko jeans, and let them just wreck the entire place.
Well, to that point, they send the 15-year-old boys, and then we see them being very effective.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, I'm stumbling through and seeing what I can do. No, they are executing those missions.
Yeah.
Apparently exactly as they're supposed to. It works.
None of these guys had a bright slap. Let's put it that way.
And the point you made, Brent, that this is a different style of things. It's like it's a sudden sneak attack.
Yeah.
And what do we know historically is a loathsome way and a not very honorable way of proceeding is sneak attacking stuff.
Yep.
So again, who's the bad guy? You didn't have anybody stand out and go, listen, you people, get out of that factory. I'm going to destroy it because I'm here to liberate the people. It's like, no, he just starts going to town.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Oh.
And to your point, there are no oppressed workers here.
No, they're just assembling crap. This is their job.
Yeah.
There's probably some guy scrubbing the toilet. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, all I got is this toilet brush. Oh no.
I wasn't supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
What was that? There was some film where a guy was cleaning and he had headphones in, and he opens up a door and there's the building is gone beyond the door.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's that dude. He's scrubbing the toilet, he's listening to music, everything happens. He goes to open up the bathroom to leave, go down to the next cleaning spot, and there's just waste everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
Exactly. So yeah, a very, and again, compared to earlier Gundam series and mecha series in general, which tend to spend their first episode very firmly establishing, here's our hero, here's his giant robot, here's why he's in the giant robot, very clearly setting this up.
Right.
It's not this at all.
No. And really, when you watch this, again, as I keep watching, as I've watched it so many times.
Yeah.
In the first episode, the only, I won't say relatable, but character that you get into there, you're like, okay, I think I can touch base with this particular character. It's Katra, because he's the only one who actually tries to not kill somebody, but I mean, he's willing to do it because he's a soldier, but he's trying not to, and he's also has a contingent behind him where all the others don't. So clearly, there's something different about this guy. All the other ones are just going, okay, they're killing, right? And Hero, what was our first introduction to Hero? oh, I've got to blow this thing up because it's in my way.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's like, oh, I can't pass this like on a merge lane or something on the highway. I got to blow this thing up. And you even have Relena, who's just like, you just kind of go, I feel bad for you, but you're a little bit off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, for the kid that doesn't want to kill.
Yeah.
Notice the fact that he just runs up to the two guys, pulls the sabers out.
Mm-hmm.
Does he cut off a leg?
Nope.
Does he cut off their arm? Mm-hmm. Does he spare any part of it? Yes, they shot at him. Mm-hmm. He cuts them in half.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so there's an interesting sort of two sides to this kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, you're talking compassion, but you could have literally disarmed them.
Yeah.
And saved their lives. Mm-hmm. Instead, you and your crew are in the desert. You don't have the capacity to take the prisoner. Yeah. So you're saying, you know, why couldn't you have just surrendered? But you actively cut them in half to kill them. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, there's a lot going on for that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and the fact that we split our shard too. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly bold move, is to have our, and this is something that Gundam, so the Gundam Wing, kind of established for Gundam in general, actually, as a new trope, which is the utility of having a political char and a pilot char, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Where there's one who moves in the political circles, he's kind of the general, he's doing all that stuff, and you have the char who is the pilot going out fighting and so forth and so on. Obviously, it's not a clean split, but you see other Gundam series kind of follow that along of saying, oh, we don't have to have both in one character.
Yeah.
So that allows you to push the piloting, and then you can at the same time, without being like, okay, well, now Char has to dock somewhere, and then he has like a shower scene where he talks with somebody. You can have Char the pilot off doing the pilot stuff and having conversations, and then the political Char sitting at the Marriott and having these conversations with other people, so you can play these two parts effectively for more story.
Right.
Yeah.
While keeping them politically aligned, right? So they're, in a sense, story-wise, the same character because they're both trying to accomplish the same goals. But
yeah. So you know, like one is like the pilot char right now is acting as the support structure for the political char. And so, you know, so the political char is just like, you know, he goes, okay, well, I'll cover for you on this. Be careful doing that. And they both are operating, as we pointed out, for the same goals. And they work well together as that team, you know. And whereas, you know, Char in other incarnations, particularly the Mobile Suit Gundam one, where he's just like, oh, this is just my revenge.
Yeah.
You know, this is my revenge. These guys are just like going, oh, we're part of this organization called Oz that, and you guys, Trace Kudanada here says, you know, if we were here 15 years ago, this wouldn't happen. Because the implication because we would have been in control, you and I, you know, that kind of a thing. So, yeah. But we shall see how that evolves.
Yes. Much more on all of that later.
Yes.
Also, just to kind of make the perhaps obvious point,
having two Chars means that they get to be each other's husbandos.
I mean, it does allow those Chars to have different opinions and to eventually go apart if need be. But where are we? There we go. So we will go with that. John, you've seen Full Metal Panic?
Yes.
That's Sosuke Sakura.
Yes, it is. Dang, no joke.
Yeah. Sosuke is very clearly based off of Hiro Yui, and is kind of Hiro Yui in a different universe and setting. But
I'm young, unable to express most of my emotions, but I'm a military man and I can do military things.
Exactly.
Okay, here we go.
Including shooting people in the groin with a pellet gun. But yes. One of the things that I like about this particular shot actually is the fact that, and I don't think I've noticed this before. They actually took the time to make sure. Yeah, remember he tried to kill himself because the thing there is
So the wires coming out of it.
Yeah.
Attention to detail. It's a good thing. All right, that is Gundam Wing Episode 1. We have Episode 2 to look at later.
Woohoo!
Rewatching this now, I'm struck by how unapologetically the main characters are presented as straight up terrorists in this show. Yes, we are shown, or we're told, that the Earth Sphere Alliance is oppressive, but we're not shown any atrocities. We're not even told of any atrocities that I can remember. And so it's a little shocking to have the main characters show up and just start killing people. Right there. No question. And I think it's a statement that the show is making, that the staff are making, about how different this show is. These are not the reluctant protagonists of earlier Gundam series where they're only fighting because they have to. Even other war shows, that's typically the way it is. This is really setting a very different tone for not just Gundam, but I think anime in general.